With great honor we present the 25 best Yankees playoff games of the last 25 years. And in Chapter 2, Scott Brosius MVP Night. Yankees fans look back on the 1998 season as the best season in living memory, if not all time, in franchise history. Not only did they set the record for most regular season wins by a team that won the World Series, as they also blasted their way through the playoffs, for the most part, showing how head and shoulders dominate the rest of the field the squad was on. However, you can be sure that the fans wouldn't look upon that team so fondly if they weren't guaranteed the ultimate prize, and on a temperate October night in San Diego, it looked like Scott Brosius had made it his personal mission to drag the team to that goal. 1998 World Series Game 1, October 20th. Final score, Yankees 5, Padres 4. Game MVP, Scott Brosius. The Yankees were on a roll after thrilling wins in the first two games of the series at Yankee Stadium, lending further credence to the feeling that the team had righted the ship after a slight stumble in the ALCS against Cleveland and was back in the lead lane the team followed for most of the season. Having notched 5 consecutive wins, their World Series run regained the sense of inevitability created by the historic regular season. That said, they still had to fly to San Diego and try to end the series in enemy territory. Looking back on early pitcher matchups, this one promised a pitcher duel, and the two pitchers didn't disappoint. David Cone got the ball for the Bombers, making his 4th start of the postseason. Fresh off a season in the top 10 among starters in the league, Cone took that red-hot form into the playoffs. He pitched 5.2 innings of 2 scoreless hits in Game 3 of the ALDS against the Rangers before spinning an absolute gem in Game 2 of the ALCS, 8 innings allowing just 1 run. He may have hit a small snag in the ACLS clinching Game 6 over Cleveland, allowing 5 runs in 5 innings. But his attack exploded to make his beginning a footnote. Opposite him was old friend Sterling Hitchcock, himself having a decent second act with the Padres after leaving the Yankees in the 1995 trade with the Mariners that sold out New York Tino Martinez and Jeff Nelson. He was arguably the hottest pitcher on either side in the World Series, having just won NLCS MVP for winning both of his starts, allowing only 1 run out of 10 innings. The two pitchers traded zeros in the first 5 innings, combining to allow just 4 base runners with more than half the game in the books. Yet decades before the third pass penalty entered public consciousness or actually affected game strategy, there was probably no thought to lift Cone from the start after only 5 frames and with his shot count under 70. However, it looks like Torre left the veteran right-hander in a very long inning and allowed the Padres to hit the first side of the contest. In fact, the Yankees had a chance to turn momentum in their favor in the top of the 6th, loading the bases with 1 out. But Hitchcock retired Bernie Williams and Martinez to leave the bases strong. They immediately called for that wasted opportunity when Cone surrendered a leadoff single to Hitchcock followed by a walk by Quilvio Veras to put up a pair of no-outs to Tony Gwynn. That's the last person you want with runners, and he immediately showed why, picking into right field, where a throwing error by Paul O'Neill allowed both runners to score and Gwynn advanced to third. He would score on a Ken Caminiti sacrifice fly, and suddenly the Yankees were down 3 runs with 3 to play. They responded immediately in the top of the 7th, Scott Brosius leading with a home run to stop the shutout, followed by a Shane Spencer double to knock Hitchcock out of the game. Joey Hamilton was brought in relief, and on his first pitch he fired a wild pitch that allowed Spencer to advance to third. With 2 outs in Cone's spot in the batting order, Chili Davis was called to pinch hit and hit a ground ball that Caminiti punted third, allowing Spencer to score and cutting the Yankees' deficit to 3-2. Graham Lloyd and Ramiro Mendoza combined to throw a 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th, sending us into the fateful 8th inning. San Diego reliever Randy Myers took a leadoff walk to O'Neill, prompting Bruce Bochy to go to his legendary Trevor Hoffman to see the final innings. As we know, things didn't go according to plan for the Padres, with Hoffman taking Martinez to bring Brosius on base with a pair. He smashed a 2-2 fastball cut center to center on his second blast of the game. So, in one drive, the Yankees scored 3 against their vaunted nearest foe, clinching their first lead of the game, 5-3, and putting them within 2 innings of taking a 3-0 series lead. Things got a little rocky in the final 2 innings, Mendoza issuing a double to Veras in the 8th to make Torre call his own legendary shutout 5-out save. It was far from a classic outing from Mariano Rivera, who dropped a single to Gwynn to get the runners into the corners before a Greg Vaughn sac fly ensured this game would go to the 9th on a spike of tension, 5-4. A pair of 2-out singles by Carlos Hernandez and Mark Sweeney gave the Padres one final chance to send the game into extras. If not fold, but Rivera eliminated Andy Sheets to clinch the win. The win set the Yankees up to win the series in emphatic style, and that's exactly what they did the next night. Andy Pettitte making quick work of San Diego's lineup en route to a 3-0 title win. Yankees fans, as long as we don't have games, we're going to make a series of significant Yankees games throughout their history. Here is the second video in a series of 25 that will be aired every day at 7 p.m. Gather the children in the room and show them. As we have always been and will continue to be strong. Or better saying, the greatest team in MLB history. As long as a child's heart exists, the New York Yankees will be immortal.